Welcome to Woodshop 101. This is episode 114 for January 29th, 2018. On today's show, we are going to talk about business classifications, being a full-time woodworker, and Ashley's shop. I am Sam Wooddell of Sam Ryan Designs, and I'm joined today by my awesome co-hosts that are making me read the whole show. Drew from Rockin' H Woodshop, Jeremy Crawford of Countryside Workshop, and our awesome guest host, Ashley Nielsen. Did I say that right? Nielsen from Build Like a Chick. Hey, guys.
What's going on? Sam Wooddell.
I think I should be the new, intro girl. Definitely.
Sam Wooddell.
I have that job.
Wooddell. I just want to make a disclaimer here. You reading this was not my idea.
I know. Actually, I should have just read your name and then my co-host that's making me read everything.
Yeah.
I'm not making you.
No,
you can
actually,
go in there and change the name.
This is awesome. This is great.
Yeah, Jeremy's done it before.
Yeah.
I didn't do that.
Here, you go ahead and read that. I don't want to do it no more.
I know. Well, don't change anything. This is my show to read. My turn. Okay, and we'd like to thank our patrons, Michael Brindle, Devin, Richter, Sean McHenry, Carl Mose, and Nielsen. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate all of your support. If you would like to support the show, you can head over to woodshop101podcast.com/listen. Find the show notes for today's episode, and there will be links for small one-time donations and reoccurring donations. If you want to become a patron to our Patreon campaign, then head over to patreon.com/woodshop101. You can buy a Woodshop 101. I can see Drew staring at me. A Woodshop 101 podcast t-shirt or t-shirt, hoodie, or Rev.
Oh, wow. My face hurt.
I don't like when Drew stares at me.
You can get through it, Sam. Come on. You're halfway there.
You're almost there.
Okay.
Well, I think what she meant to say is a Rev marker pack.
Yeah. Head over to Countryside.
One of these days she'll get it out.
Okay, stop laughing, Drew. Don't look at me. Okay. CountrysideWorkshop.com/shop for the link. I'm gonna.
Do we need to take over, Sam?
No, I got it. Seriously, when Drew stares at me, then I just start laughing and I messed up. Okay. Awesome. Bear Creek Woodworking. We're going to ask you some questions, Ashley. All right. Let's see. Bear Creek Woodworking. Oh, this one's...
I was like, so Ash, you want to take this one?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Drew, once you become a full-time woodworker, will you make some more YouTube videos? I hope you do. You have a talent for YouTube, that's for sure. I enjoy watching them.
All right, Ashley, do you want to answer this for him? When he becomes full-time, will he do more YouTube videos?
Will Drew do more YouTube videos or me? Because I don't do any.
Well, Drew.
Hopefully.
We'll dictate his schedule right now for him. We'll tell him what he's going to do.
Okay.
Don't make me start laughing again.
I do plan on doing more videos, yes. I don't know how often my schedule will be because when you go full time, I mean your time is just as valuable as anything else because you're working by the hour and working for your paycheck. So if I do these videos now, I may change the format how I'm going to do it. Whether or not it's going to be a recap of the project that I've done, because I can use video that I've posted from Instagram and work that into a video that I can post on YouTube later with an overview of everything that I did. Either that, or I may do like shop updates with, a tip on some joinery or a technique that I did in that particular build, something like that. I I haven't quite nailed out the details, but I do want to stay current on YouTube. It's really hard right now with my full-time job. So once I get, full-time at woodworking, things may change. So yeah, I'll keep doing them.
Yay!
Yeah.
I love them.
And I think that may be a good route to go, because that's exactly what I've been thinking about. Like sometimes it's just hard. I mean, it's hard to get out and shoot a full video and do a full in-depth tutorial. I kind of like how Matt Cremona does it, where he does his shop update. He shows the projects he's working on. Sometimes he gives tips, and I think as far as where I'm at, that may be the way I go this year as well.
Yeah, because it is hard to do these YouTube videos. I mean, people don't understand really how long it takes to do not only the project, film the project, and then post it to YouTube. I mean, it easily triples my time.
Yeah.
And when you're working by the hour, charging clients by the hour, that's just something you really can't afford.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. That's something that we're doing starting this new year. So we'll see how it goes. But Drew, you should definitely keep doing it because you're awesome on YouTube.
Do you know the style of format that you're going to do, Sam?
I know we talked about this in last episode, so I'll go just quickly. We haven't really decided yet. We'll probably do a little bit of both, maybe time-lapse. I really like Tamar, who we've had on the show in the past. I really like hers, and I like how the Wood Brews do it. It's just short and simple, but a lot of people, I've had a ton of people ask for tips and tricks videos, so that's probably what we'll end up doing, like, the majority of. So we'll see what happens. But now we have a question for Ashley. Built by Jessie. Ashley, how long have you been woodworking? What species do you like to work with? Where?
Are you going to let her answer these first? I mean,
yeah, okay.
Jeez.
How long have you been woodworking?
Rapid fire.
About 4 years now.
Nice.
I started out refinishing furniture about 6 years ago and then moved into woodworking.
Very nice. What is your favorite species and what do you like to work with?
I mostly work with knotty alder just because it's easy to get and it's cheap for my customers. I'd like to get into using like maple and walnut, but just haven't yet.
Oh, all of your stuff is beautiful. So
thank you.
Yeah, what you're doing is great. Where do you get your materials?
National Wood Products. It's in Salt Lake. I think they're in a couple other states, but they're just a lumber place. I just go get rough cut.
Nice. Do you still struggle with pricing, or does she have that down now? Do you still struggle?
I always struggle. I swear, like I'll price something out and I'll be like, oh, that seems so high. And then I'll ask my husband and he'll be like, that's really low. You need to add more into that.
You sound like me. I'm like, I'll give him the family and friends discount, which I do. But then then you're like, whoa, is that really what I'm going to? Yeah. But you should, because your work is awesome. So you definitely should be getting.
I'm definitely trying to get better at it. So.
That's so funny. She put that in there. And then where do you work?
In my shop that's in my garage. I took over, we have a 4-car garage, but 2 side deep. So I put up a wall and took the 2 side deep, and that's my shop.
Nice. And you guys live in Salt Lake, did you say?
We're in Grantsville. It's like 45 west of Salt Lake.
Very nice. And then what's your shop space like, which is kind of the same question, but what's it like?
Yeah, it's just a garage, just nothing fancy, just building it up one tool at a time.
I will say that your wall is pretty fancy that has Build Like a Chick on it. Like, I envy that whole wall that you like take your pictures of stuff in front of. It's awesome.
Yeah,
like,
well, we put that up just to keep the sawdust from going on the other side, but
it's awesome.
Yeah, we just put it up and I've made that into my picture wall too. A lot of people comment and they're like, you don't even use that space to hold tools and stuff. I'm like, no, it's my picture wall.
I like it. I love it, and I love your big like logo on it.
So is that picture wall, does that face the inside of the shop, or is that on the outside of the wall that faces the other part of the garage?
It faces in my shop.
Okay. I'm gonna make me a fancy wall now.
I know. I want to make like a little staging section, like Mad Raven is doing with like the flooring. Looks pretty cool.
I want to put flooring down, but I spill too much.
Yeah, me too. Well, those were. Oh, we have one more. Jeff Chafin. Did I say that right? Hopefully I said that right.
Chafin, I don't know.
Hey, are you guys running as an LLC, sole proprietor, under the table, etc.? How do you choose, and is there any drawbacks from it?
Is that for all of us or just her?
For all of us. That email was sent to us from Kickback from Jericho Holmes episode. So, I mean, if I was running under the table, I wouldn't tell you. I'm sorry, Jeff.
He doesn't even allow clients at his house without ducking and diving.
Yeah, they're my second cousins. Stop. They're not clients, second cousins. Get that right.
Sorry.
So, Drew, you know what? In fact, I let you tackle this first,
Drew.
because I just commented on like this like fancy like Bible
book
thing you had, and you're so vague. It's my novel. Okay, well, what's that supposed to mean?
It's my legal novel.
My LLC stuff. Okay, well, what does that mean? Like, you got a fancy black book with gold lettering on it.
Hey, and not only that, but it came with its own seal. I've never had a seal.
So tell us about
That's awesome. Yes, because I'm in the process of switching. So
yes.
Please tell.
Well, the main reason that I wanted to become an LLC is that I wanted everything personal completely separated from my business. So if anybody has to come, I guess, in a lawsuit, heaven forbid something like that happens, the only thing that they can take is my business. They cannot take my personal stuff. And something that, and this kind of varies from state to state, but if your shop, kind of like mine, is part of your home, they can't even take that because that's like filing like homestead. So if your shop is part of your actual home, they still can't even take that. They may be able to take the tools, but they can't take the shop. But having it completely separated is something that I wanted to do pretty much right off the bat. Not only that, but it was a tax deduction to actually set it up. With LegalZoom, it kind of made it easier because it was basically having like a lawyer on hand all the time when I needed to ask questions during the whole setup. Because I don't have an attorney on retainer, nor can I afford one. I will say that this particular LLC that I set up wasn't exactly cheap. It was about, I think it was like $500 or $600.
I was just about to ask, how much was it?
And so yeah, it wasn't cheap, but it's going to cover me quite a bit and give me the assistance I need when I need it. And they prepare it all. I've got my EIN number as well. I applied for that. So now I can have tax exempt things on the things that I sell and buy for those items. Mm-hmm. I don't want to operate as a sole proprietor anymore because I don't want to take a risk on if somebody comes after me on a legal basis, how much are they going to be able to take? Are they going to be able to take my home?
So you're operating as a sole proprietor until when? When did you go LLC?
Just recently, like the past week, my LLC finally came in.
Okay. So 2017, beginning of 2018 is when you went. Yeah,
I actually started filling out the paperwork like the last 2 weeks of December because I knew it was going to take a while. Once my papers came back from state, I think that was January 10th or 11th. And that's when they started putting my LLC together and mailed me my packet. Now, I still have a couple of other things that I got to do now that I have the packet. finalizing my registration through state and stuff like that. But now I've got to get insured. I want to be insured for another reason. Because if I'm going to start working with businesses, I want to actually have insurance on hand that protects me. Because if, let's just say, a business, if they hire me to build, say, a bed or something like that, and their customer gets hurt on that bed, and they file a claim because the person is filing a lawsuit against them, and their insurance asks them, well, who made this product? Like, well, we third party contracted that out to this business here. Like, okay, was this business insured as well? And they're saying no, they're not going to cover that claim. They are going to come after. They're going to come after them with the lawsuit, and in turn, that company is going to turn around and come at me with a lawsuit. So I get like a double whammy. So I want to be insured as well.
Okay. So you did your LLC through LegalZoom?
Yes.
Is that what you said? So
yes.
Is that process pretty easy to get to do it through LegalZoom?
I would say that to start the process, yes, it was pretty simple. There is a couple of tedious things that you have to do. Like I said, I went back and forth with them by email probably about 3 or 4 times, making sure that I had all the proper paperwork filled out, and they would send me a correspondence email saying, okay, we need you to do this now that this is done. And I think my business name, there was one time they said it was going to be possibly an issue because somebody else might have a similar name. And I was like, nobody's going to have this freaking name. So I said, no, just go ahead. I'll take the risk. And it turns out that nobody had a name like that. So I was pretty free and clear. But yeah, about 3 or 4 times I had to do a couple of little tedious things. And I still got a couple more things to do now that I've got it back. But yeah, the whole process pretty much was easy. It's all online.
And they walked you through everything that had to be filed with the state. What about locality? Is there anything that you have to do for the city of Moore or for the county that you live in?
Not for the LLC. I will probably have to go to the city of Moore and I guess go through any legalities that I need to go through as far as setting it up with them. But, all of my paperwork was registered with the state. So now I just have to finalize it.
Okay. All right. So, Ashley, what are you running as?
I'm just a sole proprietor as well, but I want to move over to an LLC for the same reasons.
Yeah. I think that's, Sam, you're running as a sole proprietor?
Yep, and the same exact reasons, because when I first started, I didn't think it was going to go where it did so quickly. And now, if anything were to happen, and I've passed up actually 2 jobs where I didn't feel like it was safe and it's something, could happen to it. I passed on it because I don't want them to come after my stuff. Like, that's not good. So I'm in the process of, actually, I met this girl who was like, you need to get a lawyer on retainer. I was like, okay, okay. But I don't think I have the money. So I have been talking to my client who I'm building for right now. Her husband and her are both lawyers. She's actually not practicing right now. So maybe I'll have to look into LegalZoom. And the thing about living in Northern Virginia, it's crazy because if you're licensed in DC, even if they live here in the suburbs in Northern Virginia, they can't help. So I have to find, all the lawyers I know are DC lawyers. So I need to find a Virginia lawyer.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So I run as a sole proprietor as well. I think that's pretty much the same thing where we all want to go to the LLC route, but there are downfalls of going to that LLC route. So I know, he asked, if there's any drawbacks from it. Yeah, yes, there's definitely drawbacks and there's positives for both, as well as S corps and everything else that you decide to do. That's something you'll have to look into and find out what fits for your business. But as at least as a sole proprietor, that one of the benefits is the bookkeeping aspect is so much easier because you can file your business taxes in conjunction with your personal taxes.
Yep.
So you just file it as if it were another business. If you worked for another another business. All the income for the business goes to you, versus an LLC. You can no longer file your taxes in conjunction with your personal taxes. You're going to have a CPA file them. And you're going to have to show where the LLC, you are paying yourself with it as a paycheck. The business, anything you collect as a business is no longer your personal income.
Yep.
You'll have business income, and then you have to show where you pay yourself for personal income.
And that's one thing that I work into my hourly rate is my hourly rate that I'm going to be paying myself. So my shop rate has that worked into it. But yeah, I will be paying myself an hourly rate, and that will have to be shown. And I'm also working on trying to get a CPA because I knew it was going to be so much harder.
Yeah. Yeah, and when you find a CPA, you really need to find, like, don't go to H&R Block, don't go to Jackson Hewitt. You got to find a CPA that's well versed in small business practices and small business law. The same thing with a lawyer, because things that apply to small businesses and small LLCs are going to be completely different than S corps and things like that apply to large corporations. So if you find a CPA, or if you go that route, make sure you're finding one that is well versed in small business. And I'm gonna kind of kick off on this. Go back to I was
just gonna say this.
Last March, I think it was around episode 70. But it's with Brian McCauley. We did a episode with him. He is, I think, a year or two out. He was a special agent with the IRS, and we went through all sorts of taxes, things that you can legally claim, things that you can't legally claim, things that are myths. He gets into things that automatically throw red flags. He gets into claiming your home office as part of your business and try to deduct the square footage and things like that. We get into all of it. I think it was an hour and a half or something. It was a really long episode, but it was full of knowledge. And this is the great time to be doing it since this is tax time. So if you're, and it's also great to brush up on it since we're at the beginning of the year. So definitely go check that one out. I mean, that's straight from he was special agent with the IRS. I mean, that's all he did was investigations and knows about that stuff. So check it out.
And keep in mind, he is no longer with the IRS. That's why he was able to disclose a lot of that information to us. Otherwise, that would have been lost knowledge to us. But it was super eye-opening. Super eye-opening.
Yeah. So
Nice.
I would say that's, in my opinion, that's probably one of the biggest setbacks from an LLC is your taxes get a little bit more expensive to do because you have to hire it out, and the bookkeeping aspect gets a little bit more difficult. But definitely, if you could find a CPA as you start going into that LLC aspect, that can help guide you and help you get your books set up correctly. It'll make things a little bit easier for you at the end of the year. So
Nice.
I think we're all just going to hire Sam's mom.
We have someone that does, pay her in love. We have someone that does all of our, my dad owns his own business, so we use the same guy he uses. I don't know his name. I forget his name.
The same guy.
We'll just pay your mom in love to do our bookkeeping.
There you go.
Joe Blow.
Well, I don't know. It could be that. Who knows? Yes, pay my mom with love. She'll love it. But we would like to remind you, if you listen to this show on iTunes, to please give us a 5-star rating. It helps us reach a greater audience. Nick Oval said, I did not mean to be a troll. I could have been more constructive in my comment. I listen every week and was a little frustrated at the abrupt end. maybe in the future, just let us know at the beginning of the show that it will be a 2-part. Anyhow, I did not mean to be an armchair podcaster. I changed my rating from a 1 to a 5. You guys put a lot of work into this, and I should have recognized that. Cheers. Well, that was nice for him to come back and say that.
Do you remember where this is coming from?
Yeah, from the
Wood Brew show.
Right. Yes.
Yep.
So the fact that, we definitely appreciate you changing it and kind of clearing it up, and it means a lot when we get recognized. Like, yeah, it is a lot of work, and by any means, like we're glad that you told us, like, hey, I told you at the end, hey, this was going to be a 2-part episode, but I didn't think about doing it at the beginning. You gave us that feedback, and if we get in that situation again, that's definitely something that I'll think about moving forward with it. So we appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Well, I've really enjoyed this episode. I think there was actually a lot of stuff cram-packed into this short little show. But I really enjoyed the laughter. Thanks, Sam.
You're welcome. I know I laughed really hard, and now I am so tired.
I can see you back there just going, oh, no. Well, awesome. If you guys want to get in contact with us, Ashley, I guess we'll do you first, just because you're our special guest host, and then I will kind of kill it with the rest of it. So go ahead. How can people contact you?
builtlikeachick.com or Instagram, Facebook. Instagram is probably the easiest. DM me at builtlikeachick.
All right. Very good. Well, if you want to get in contact with Jeremy, Sam, or myself, we each have our own respective websites, which is countrysideworkshop.com, rhwoodshop.com, and samryandesigns.com. You can also get in contact with the podcast itself by sending us an email, which is kickback@woodshop101podcast.com. We also have a voicemail that you can call, which is 409-234-3959. Don't forget the voice memo app on your phone. Send it to the email that I just mentioned, and we would love to play those on air. So that pretty much wraps it up. We want to thank Ashley for being a guest on the past show as well as this show. It's been a pleasure having you, and I think we all want a picture wall like you have. That's pretty much the consensus.
Well, thank you guys for having me.
You're very welcome, and thanks for accepting when I sent you the message.
Yeah, no problem.
So that pretty much wraps it up from Jeremy, Sam, and myself, along with Ashley, our guest host. We want to wish you guys well. Please be safe in your shop, and we will talk to you on the next podcast episode. So 1, 2, 3, boom!
Boom!